Hi, and welcome to Better Minneapolis. This is your host, Terry White. If you like what we're doing, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. Today's episode is called Minneapolis is Struggling. That's no joke. Finding the right mix of social programs and business incentives remains a challenge. There is a trust deficit on the Minneapolis City Council. Relationships are strained or non-existent, and this council has only been in place for a few months. These internal disputes are one obstacle. Communication gaps and differing priorities between the council and the mayor add another layer of complexity. I have a picture here of City Hall that was used by the AP after the City Council passed the Gaza ceasefire resolution. Veto of pre-eviction notice sustained. By a 7-6 vote at the March 26 City Council meeting, Mayor Frey's veto of the proposal to extend the pre-eviction notice period from 30 to 60 days was sustained. The vote fell too short of the 9 needed to override the veto. Several people contacted us prior to the vote to explain why extending the notice period could backfire. One of the more compelling arguments was that housing providers would likely tighten their screening standards. If eviction becomes more difficult, landlords may become more selective about whom they rent to in the first place. While some support the extension to help those affected by the recent immigration surge, others worry the additional time could be misused. These issues will continue to be debated and may yet be resolved. Council members Chowdhury and Chugtai plan to introduce a revised ordinance at the next meeting. To improve their chances of success, they would benefit from broadening the range of experts involved and working more closely with Mayor Frey to address his concerns. St. Paul passed its own version of this notice, so we'll be able to see if in real time whether the policy results in increased evictions. A separate ordinance is being introduced that would require pre-eviction notice for commercial tenants facing eviction for non-payment of rent. If council members want to avoid another veto, they would be better served by working with a wider group of stakeholders, including the mayor's office, before advancing the proposal. It's clear that many on the council find it difficult to work with or even acknowledge Mayor Frey. Still, that reality won't change. If they want their proposals to succeed, they will need to accept it. Otherwise, they risk repeating the same cycle. Staff time spent drafting ordinances, hours of council debate, public campaigns, and ultimately frustration when efforts fail. Some council members have openly criticized the number of media appearances Frey made during Operation Metro Surge. They're entitled to that frustration, but dwelling on it won't move the city forward. If they want to prevent further damage, they will need to move past it and work together. The Cuba Conundrum. Lately, we've been trying to improve our fitness. That's meant time on a stationary bike at the gym, watching loops of reality TV like Below Deck and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The emotional pleas, backstabbing, and convenient alliances aren't all that different from what we're seeing at City Hall. What's missing and badly needed is a full reset, some kind of all-hands meeting where members clear the air, repair relationships, and refocus on the city's most urgent needs. During the March 26 Committee of the Whole meeting, led by Council Member Chowdhury, tensions boiled over. Council Member Rainville was overheard on a hot mic calling the council fucking children, amid confusion over a bio break versus a lunch break. Later, Chowdhury expressed frustration during the regular council meeting, saying she felt bullied when others spoke during her allotted time and citing Rainville's remark as an example. Councilmember Veto accused Council President Payne of not knowing how to run a meeting and favoring his friends. A recess was called so members could regroup. New council members Warren, Schaefer, Stevenson, and Whiting are still adjusting. They are quickly learning that the environment can be combative, with insults and innuendo that would be considered unacceptable in most workplaces. In a familiar voting pattern, Payne, Osmond, Chugtai, Woansley, Stevenson, Chavez, and Chowdhury passed a resolution supporting the normalization of relations with Cuba. And here I have a picture of a street scene in Cuba. Important items adopted. There's more to cover than we can fit here. A full analysis of each council member's actions and the broader dynamics will have to wait. For now, here are a few key items that passed. South Minneapolis Community Safety Center bid. This is the money they need to begin construction on the former 3rd Precinct. Residents are eager to see progress on this project. However, the low bid from Urban Construction was not aligned with union contract expectations. COO Kelleher indicated that discussions will continue to encourage union subcontracting and prevailing wages. Minneapolis Small Business Resiliency Fund. This $7 million fund is intended to help small businesses recover from disruptions caused by Operation Metro Surge. Rental assistance. These three measures allocated a combined $3.8 million in rental assistance. The Wilson Foundation will match the funds, bringing the total to nearly $8 million available through Hennepin County. Council members Osmond, Woansley, and Veto are working with the county to expand eligibility and bring in more nonprofit partners to administer the funds. I have a little picture here of a Rubik's Cube on it saying, "Figure it out." Out of order. Much of the meeting focused on whether to move forward with the Community Safety Training and Wellness Center. The proposal involves purchasing several properties for $6.1 million, plus closing costs. Councilmember Whiting moved to refer the ordinance back to staff. The motion passed 7-6, keeping the project alive for now. It will return for consideration once staff prepare a revised proposal. Council members raised a range of arguments both for and against the project. In short, many felt the timing was off. Community Safety Director Todd Barnett will likely need to make a stronger case for both the location and urgency of the proposal. Immediately after the vote, protesters stood with the Stop Cop City sign, prompting a second recess. After the first recess, Council President Payne returned with a set of yellow cards outlining the rules of decorum. The temperature in the room seemed to drop for the remainder of the meeting. However, much of the damage had already been done. Afterward, council members took to social media to defend themselves and promote their positions. There is a significant difference between working directly with people and communicating online. Social media tends to emphasize broadcasting opinions rather than listening. If this council hopes to build productive relationships, both internally and with the mayor, its members will need to practice building trust with one another, even when they disagree or find each other frustrating. Otherwise, it will be a long, difficult year for them and residents. Thanks for reading and for caring about Minneapolis.